What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Moonrunner City. I'm Chris. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be looking at Alien Earth. So we're going to do a little Alien Earth commentary on Episode 1, Neverland. So let's get into it. So Episode 1 kicks off with a little epilogue of in the future, there's going to be a race for immortality, and this race is going to be in the form of three different technologies. And those technologies are going to be cyborgs and synthetics and these new hybrids. Now, cyborgs and these hybrids, we've never seen them before in the Alien series. The synthetics, we have. Those are just kind of like the standard robots like Ash and Bishop, like we've seen before in previous Alien films. So, this series introduces the cyborgs, which are cybernetically enhanced humans with like robot parts, basically, maybe robot um, brain functions. We're not really sure yet. And also, the cyborgs have like cybernetic limbs and prosthetics and things like that. So right away, the show kicks off almost identical to the first Alien. So then we go down to the lower decks, and then we see some cargo, and this cargo is some species, and it looks like alien species that we've seen before in the trailers. Then we cut back to our alien replica shots where the pods open up, the crew's sleeping, the music is kind of reminiscent of the original Alien. There's these like slow dissolves of everybody waking up kind of periodically. Everything's very slow. Everybody's kind of getting up very lethargically and just kind of like they just feel like beat up. Look like they've been in there forever. One guy just starts lighting up a cigarette. So, and then it goes into them eating breakfast, very also reminiscent of the first Alien film. Everything is also very shot similarly, edited and paced the same way. Like I said, the music, we kind of get these shots from behind the characters just like in the original Alien film. So all the shots and all the sets and everything is basically telling us that we're in this Alien franchise, and it's just ripping off Alien, the first Alien. But things are a little different. We got a couple different characters here that aren't like the ones that we first see in the first Alien movie. It looks like we got Morrow, who we're not sure yet if he's a cyborg or a synthetic. And then we have these two guys in the background who the one guy must be really, really slow because the guy is basically like explaining to him all what the audience needs to know. It's just like a big exposition dump here. And it's just because the one kid is said to be kind of he didn't do his social studies is what's said. It's inferred that he's like kind of stupid. So they basically are explaining what's going on here is that there's like these five companies and they're all like fighting for power. The company they worked for, Weyland Yutani, and then there's this other company called Prodigy, which is run by Boy Cavalier, and he's over there in Boy Cavalier Island or in Prodigy City. It's called on Earth, and yeah, they're all kind of like bickering at each other, and they're all a little nasty to each other. A lot more nastier than we've seen previous crews in the Alien films. They're really on it, kind of prickly with each other. not nice. And then you could tell they already know the one crew member is a synthetic, or there's two synthetics here, and they kind of outcast him and treat him differently. And he's also very awkward the way he interacts with the people. He's like watching them while they sleep, and he's kind of being all pervy. Weird character choice. But then we learn that they've all kind of been through it. They all or have already captured the xenomorph and all these alien species, and that's what's down below in the lower decks. All the aliens, the the little eyeball alien, all that stuff. They've already caught it, and they're on their way to the Weyland-Yutani base, and it's like a big mission. And the guy Morrow, he's not having any bullshit. He's like, "We're completing this mission. Everybody, stop your bickering." And they all kind of like are really standoffish to each other. But then they all kind of go their separate ways. And in between some of this conversation, we get these little cuts, random cuts that are like really kind of poorly edited into the scene of the aliens doing gross stuff. We're not sure if it's supposed to be happening, if it's images that's already happened, or if it's images that are gonna be happening. We're not really sure, and we never really find out. But then we go to like med bay, and while everybody's kind of going to sleep, one of our scientists are kind of hanging back and still studying one of the. They have everything. They caught everything, and then these guys, the worker guys, they're just like they sleep in like a hammock down below in like steam engine rooms. I mean, my dad used to work on boilers, and he at least had an office when he worked on boilers. These guys, their whole quarters is just like right next to the machine. Kind of funny. So, a couple people are going to sleep. A couple people are still working. Yeah, the sets are very reminiscent of the first Alien film. Iconic Ridley Scott movie. And then we it drops in where we get some of these horrific images of things that now it looks like things that might be happening, right? It looks like things that are going to be happening to these characters. It looks like everybody's just pretty much going to get attacked because it looks like the xenomorph gets out. How does xenomorph gets out? We don't even see any hint of how that happens. So the Maginot or the Minot, or we're never really told what this ship is called, but it's hurtling through space, and like I said, it's kind of trying to head towards its home base on the moon, I believe. It's only really said once. If you When they're in conversation, if you're not paying attention, and sometimes believe me, you might slip into unconsciousness when they start talking, and if you do, you'll miss everything. But to be honest, it's not a lot because we're 3 episodes in. This is only the first episode, but when we get to the third episode, we still won't know half of these people's names. But let's stay with the first episode. Okay, so we got Macy. She's here with Kirsch. Macy's a sick little 12-year-old girl. It's inferred that she's sick. She's in a gown. Hot, looks like a hospital. Head's kind of shaved. Looks like she's almost got like some sort of like leukemia or something. And she's here having a conversation with Kirsch, who we don't find out his name till later. You gotta look all this stuff up. I'm looking it up for you guys, so that we can do this commentary. Timothy Oliphant. Timothy Oliphant plays Kirsch. Is that his name? Hold on. Let me just make sure that's homeboy's name. Bop, 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 bop. Hang on. Yeah, Kirsch. Okay, Timothy Oliphant. I'm gonna get that guy's name right. Seems like a robot. We're not really told, but he's given robot vibes, and he's talking to Macy, and he's kind of just talking to her about the scorpion and how, I don't know, Scorpion is scared also of her, and she doesn't really have to be scared of it. Something like that. We're not told what she has. It's just kind of inferred that she looks like she could be sick. Like she could be terminally ill, some sort of like leukemia or cancer or something. So it looks like she's off to some sort of operation or surgery. We're not really sure yet. We're not really told. But Kirsch is kind of telling her, go for it. I'll be here. Don't worry. They're looking at a scorpion, and she's kind of wondering, hey, maybe we should squash that thing. And he's like, nah, it's all right. It's smaller than you. It's scared of you too. She's like, it could sting you. He's like, yeah, but you could step on it. And then they're looking at it, and then he asks her if he wants for him to kill it, and she just tells him no. He kind of gives her a look like, this might happen later on. So she goes off with unidentified person, because a lot of people in this show are going to be unidentified. We don't know who the hell people's names are. I try looking for her name, but it'll probably cause this turn this podcast to a complete stop. Oh, okay. So Macy. So Macy goes off with Dame Sylvia. Okay, so Dame Sylvia is like this female caretaker. Looks like she works for the company. Her and Kirsch are the only people with this young girl, and they're kind of march her off to this operation where it looks like we have our main character Wendy. So, premise of the show, plot of the show is that they're going to transfer this terminally ill young girl's consciousness into this synthetic robot. So you're gonna implant her memory into the Wendy's robot body. The weird thing is that there's really nobody with Macy. There's no parents. A father is brought up, but he's not around. So all this seems like it would be a little, sketchy. And she's not that young. It's said that I think she's 12. So she should maybe be a little bit more apprehensive of this. But okay, she trusts everybody, and they're saying that they're doctors and they're smart and this is all safe and everything's going to be okay. So she just consents to it and goes along with it, and this all happens. Okay, so we meet Boy Cavalier. So Boy Cavalier is the founder, president, owner of this Prodigy Corporation, of this Prodigy City. And so he's here kind of giving Macy the talk that it's going to be okay. She's special. She's going to be the first. This is all good. You can trust us. I'll play cartoons on the ceiling. And so she's like, so this is the first time we hear about parents. So she asks about a dad, and Dame Sylvia, she's like, oh, he's around. He'll be there when you get out. And she's kind of like, well, he can't be here. And she's like, nah, girl, I'll give you this flower. It's okay. Gives her a kiss on the head, and she's like, go ahead, jump on there. And so this all happens, and they tell her it's like going to sleep. Kind of fucked up. Oh, her name's Marcy. I keep saying Macy. Sorry. I mean, I'll probably get a lot of names wrong because we don't hear names a lot in this show. I'm going to complain about that a lot too, as I should, because we should know names of certain people. Like Dame Sylvia, I've watched 3 episodes. I didn't know her name was Dame Sylvia until I looked it up in the IMDb. Okay, so this whole like transition goes down without a hitch. She just lays on this air mattress. It buzzes a little bit with some lights, and then we're not really sure what is it happening. I guess she dies here, and then her memories or something's happening where her personality or something's implemented onto this robot next door, which is Wendy, played by Cindy Chandler, who's our main character. So right away, we get some of the memories that are kind of getting passed over. Memories of a brother, of a father, Ice Age, maybe some baseball games from the 1970s. Again, this is 2000, 2130, 2120. So I just want to put that out there again. Okay, so then the transition happens of the memories, and then Wendy wakes up, and then we cut to some music. And guys, when I first saw this, I might play you my reaction to this song, but this is right here where the show took a nosedive for me.
Oh boy, we get lyrics. I don't want lyrics, and this song is bad. While she's sitting, oh boy. Wow, that's a bad song. Oof. Oh no.
When just a song kind of just pops up in the middle of an alien show with lyrics that are so on the nose, you just want to punch yourself in the face. It's really bad, and it's bad, and it's out of metal. It's not in tune. The melody's all off. The voice sucks, and then the visuals are like really bad. Macy or Wendy just jumps off the face of a cliff. Everything's all good, and she just like kind of falls real like a pencil into the sand. Like she doesn't break, she doesn't fold over or nothing. And she runs off really fast, and so she's like, superhuman. And it's like this really nice, beautiful thing that happens. Hence the really nice, beautiful song that sucks really bad. I'll play you guys my reaction when it came on the first time I heard it because it's a doozy. So then, right after that, the first thing they start talking about is Wendy, the 12-year-old, grabs her boobs and talks about her boobs, how they're weird, and they have a whole like a conversation about them and how she's gonna grow into her body. And it's not really made clear of how long she's been in this body, how much she actually knows about this body, how much she's gonna end up needing to know about this body. This We're just kind of dumped into like this random conversation that seems like it should be a conversation that happens maybe before the whole like transition happens. Like I said, she's 12 years old when she's her memories are moved over into Wendy. You know, she should know what parts are on the female body. Like she's not oblivious to what boobs are. Like there's no reason why we should have to, like we have this conversation in an alien movie. Like this seems so out of place. But we're getting it, and Boy Cavalier is watching over, being all creepy, checking it out. She's the first of this sort of hybrid experiment where, we're taking human consciousness, human memories, and moving them over to a robot. She's the first. So Boy Cavalier is keeping a close eye. He's got Dame Sylvia and Timothy Oliphant checking her out. Timothy Oliphant plays Kirsch, the robot, with the silver hair, and then has he got eyebrows? The eyebrows have died. So after the whole boob conversation, they tell her that she's gonna get like a couple other friends, and she's like, "Oh, sweet, I get to rule. I get to like be like their leader. I get to rule over them." And she kind of like digs that idea, and so that she's introduced to the kids before their minds are kind of moved over into the robot bodies, their robot counterparts. So they're told that they'll be super strong and super fast, and they don't have to worry about dying because machines don't break for some reason, and software doesn't need to get updated. But they think that this is all good. Like systems don't malfunction. Again, it's 2120, and so their understanding of technology sometimes is a little baffling to me. But let's go along with it. It's just episode 1. The idea is interesting of you know moving the minds over into a robot body, and the ideas of consciousness and what is a soul and what it is to be human, and what it is to be human when like all of you is a robot or some of you is a robot. Is a robot that's entirely a robot only just a robot? I mean, if it looks like a human, talks like a human, acts like a human. So they're all interesting ideas to be explored here, but we kind of not really doing that yet. So what we get first is a lot more Peter Pan references for some reason, and then we get Wendy is going to be the one coercing them into just going to sleep on the air mattress. And then we get like this sequence when they all like kind of like waking up in their robot bodies. And there's just like this kind of whooshing sound that's supposed to, I guess, mimic what's happening. And they're all kind of like watching each other like go through this process. Nobody else is in the room, by the way. They're the only ones there when this happens. No other doctor. There's no doctors. You don't need doctors for this. Like I said, they just lay down on an air mattress. Some lights go on, some whooshing. They watch Peter Pan. For some reason, I mean, these Peter Pan references get so on the nose that if they go any further, I mean, you're going to figure out that, the xenomorph is the crocodile. Spoilers. Yeah, and so we get Boy Cavalier reading Peter Pan. And so here we are, we're 24 minutes in. We don't know too many people's names. Like, I had to look up Kirsch. We don't like know Kirsch's name yet. We learn his name later. I had to look up Dame Sylvia. Marcy. I only heard her name like she's known as Wendy. We get her name a few times. Boy Cavalier's got a servant. Don't know his name. Okay, so we'll go back to Morrow on the ship that looks like the Ridley Scott ship, the Maginot, the Minoy. I don't know what it's called, how you say it, but I don't think anybody else does because I haven't heard anybody else say it. I've heard multiple people say it as the Maginot, so we'll go with Maginot. Okay, so on the Maginot, all the aliens get out somehow. The eyeball squiddy thing is out. None of their systems or security can handle it. Morrow, he's got cybernetic limbs. He can't do anything about it but lock himself into Mother, the kind of computer room, and basically lock everybody else out. We get one of the crew members that's still alive kind of knocking on the door like a mailman. Just like, "Hello? Can you let me in?" Really bad acting. Here. Oh, here it goes. She just okay. She bangs on it with the one fist on the window, and she's like, "Come on!" Ah, She opens the hands. Oh God! She's like a South Park character. Uh, Again, and she's like kind of jumping. Let me in. Let me in. Really bad. Okay. Yeah. She's like, let me in. Let me in. So bad. And then Morrow, he turned all of a sudden you see his arm. This is the first time you really kind of notice that his arm is a robotic arm. And he could just pop out like things out of it, like just different tools. It's like a Swiss Army knife. He just pops out like this welding thing and he just welds the door shut. He welds the door shut. Okay. Now, bad actress number one turns around. Oh, snap. Must be an alien. First time we see the alien, and it's looks good. Tosses her around. That part's pretty good. Sound effects are good. The alien like the costume get up looks crazy. Then it kind of like backs up really awkwardly into frame, into like the window uh peephole here, and then does its like little smile with the teeth and the saliva, and then like slams its head into the thing. But the way it backed up was kind of funny. You could just like see it like almost like having to like awkwardly pivot its head around corners sometimes to like get around. So right away, almost right away, the xenomorph just like opens the door that he welded shut. It opens it up, and then boom, homeboy jumps into the floor. The floor closes. Little like kind of thing goes over him. Some drool falls on his face. It's not acid apparently. It doesn't do anything. And then the xenomorph kind of just goes buck wild and kind of tears at the floor, and he can't get into there. It gets him through the door that he welds shut, but it can't get into here. A nice touch here. We get Morrow. He's kind of like keep himself calm. He's putting on the oxygen thing, and he's kind of like humming and singing a song, kind of reminiscent of Ripley back in Alien. And then here the Maginot crashes into what looks like kind of like this docking area outside the moon where it should have been landing, but it doesn't. And then it's off to Earth. Maybe 3 months later, like that's gonna take a long time. And then when the Maginot finally comes, it kind of comes like they're taken by surprise. They have no idea what the fuck happens, and the thing just crashes into the city. Crashes into the city, doesn't do as much damage as you would think. Like that thing's hurling through space, right? Just went through the moon, right? How many times have we seen? We've seen movies before where, hey, you could go a little bit faster if you use the gravity of the moon and do the slingshot, right? So it's doing the slingshot and it's going towards Earth. Maybe it's not doing the slingshot, okay, but it's going through space and heading towards Earth. It's gonna take a little time, and it's going and it's going to go through the atmosphere and it's going to hit bedrock, and it should just make almost like a nuclear blast type hole in the ground and just almost disintegrate things around it for a couple blocks. That's what should happen. That's not what we get though. When that thing crashes, it's almost like a bus just crashes into like a storefront. Just there's just still pieces of the hull. The building's still intact. The floor's still intact. People are still intact. Like everything should just be like kind of obliterated. We've seen things hit the ground and hit things at like pretty fast speeds before. This thing's flying through space and it just hits these two buildings and doesn't do it does damage, but the damage that is shown is kind of bullshit. Okay, speaking of bullshit, we get Wendy watching TV here, and she's just kind of spying on her brother. She's getting homesick, right? So she's watching her brother. She's telling the teddy bears, they're the actual teddy bears. She's telling the teddy bears that in her room, "Hey, this is my brother. He's a doctor. He works for the Army Corps or whatever." He and we're just kind of follow him, and we get really badly edited scene here. This is not one of the show's strong points, which is exposition, dialogue, and editing. And in this scene, you really just want to just jump out the window because this part is bad. She's just telling us everything about him. He's a doctor, he's this, which these are things that we could probably see. You know, the show, the writers could probably just show him doing some doctory stuff, working for this, doing some of that. But instead, like I said, we get this really crazy edited scene of her following him, and then him watching Ice Age. It's 2120. He's watching Ice Age, and she's watching him watch Ice Age, and then she's recalling some memories, and so is he, apparently. Maybe. We're not really sure right now because the way this is edited, it could be in anybody's memory. This could be Kirsch right now thinking this. We have no idea. Okay. So, homeboy, Joe Hermit, the name, is just kind of hanging out on the rooftop, just kind of staring off like a bum, just all sweaty, looking like just like a wreck. Everybody else around him is like all working out. He's in this platoon, like he's the doctor. He's here, and they all like treat him like shit. They like joking with him, teasing him. He's the doctor. Like he's like could save their ass. He's not somebody that you would want to like kind of like shit on. And this chick, the red haired chick, just being dick. Okay, so here we have the Minoit about to crash land. Nobody knows about it. The military, boy prodigy or boy cavalier, Prodigy City, no warning systems, nothing. Nothing. Just the whole thing just crashes through buildings into the heart of the city, and just like I said, just crashes almost like a bus. Like a bus like into like a little like bank. But we get this scene where we get a lot of like build up of tension, and we get some military vehicles and armor and gear, and it's all kind of looking like aliens, like pre-aliens tech. You get the NPC carry like mobile vehicle here. We get the helmets and like the headsets. Just a fridge on top of a person. Oh, they try to help him. He's clearly dead, and they're like, oh, he just tags him. Good job, Joe. He just looked at him and is like, yep, death by fridge. He dead. Move on. So they're like, yeah, 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 yeah. We got authority to go in. Like, we could go in there, right? We got orders. It's secure. Everything is secure. This is a spaceship crashed into a building. I mean, Twin Towers, right? Twin Towers gets hit by two planes. They both fall. Hours later, Tower 7 falls because of all the destruction. This just happens, and everybody's just bouncing around, like jumping through stuff. It's all good. They're like, come on, let's just do this. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's fucking action movie, whatever. It's cool. Like I said, that thing crashes, and it should be there should be nothing left. There should just be a hole where a city was. But instead, there's just all this stuff is left over. They're just walking on top of stuff, climbing through it. Nah, nothing's falling. It's okay. It's all good. I mean, like I said, whatever. It's action movie. It's action sci-fi. Let's people jumping on stuff that's unsecure is fun. Why they're jumping on it, I don't know. Like they don't know why they're going in that ship. I don't even know what they think they're looking for. I don't even know if they think they know what they're looking for. Like I said, Their search and rescue, they haven't rescued anybody. Haven't really said what they're searching for either. Like they haven't been told there's species on that ship. We as the audience know there's species on that ship. We know that they should be on that ship or that they're going to end up on that ship. And the fact that they do so quickly without explanation is total bullshit. But hey, it's for episode 1. Maybe, they'll figure it out episode 2. So we're back on the Maginot. We're looking at the floor where the alien was scraping at. Couldn't get in there for some reason. Was able to get through the door and everything else and kill everything, but he can't get through this door. And then Morrow just punches through it with his prosthetic arm, and then just like, I can breathe. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have a oxygen mask in that arm of his. Cool set design. We're on the Maginot. It's all messed up, all fucked up. Everybody on the ship is all dead and hacked up. Body parts. Morrow sees on the camera that still work and talks to Mother that still works. The ship has been boarded. No shit. You crash landed. What do you think is going to happen, Morrow? And then he's talking about reinforcements are going to arrive. And he's like steadfast on those crazy ass aliens that escaped the ship and made it crash? I'm going to recapture them. For some reason, I don't know why he is so steadfast on catching these things. Wendy's just hanging out with one of the scientists and just is like, why don't you have kids? And then they talk about sperm. And then the way she twirls around on the thing and all her mannerisms is just keeps slapping you in the face that she's 12 years old. But for some reason, she keeps having these weird, awkward conversations with people that really do nothing for the story. They don't really go anywhere. It's just her talking about stuff, and I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but it's just kind of just really a miss. More of a miss than not as much of a miss as that song. There's little music breaks in this show that are just so out of nowhere, and they don't belong at all. They're just so misplaced in this show. The show should not have just music needle drops. They come at the end, which is okay, fine. The music that they choose, they're good songs. They don't fit. And the mid show music drops are horrendous. And the one in this episode 1, was just fucking really set the tone that this is shit. Okay, so here we go. Here is the craziest setup of a plot here. We get Wendy. She learns that her brother is the one on the search and rescue team, and she wants to go find him and go relink with him. So she goes to Boy Cavalier and she's like, "Hey man, let me in those 5 new prototype kids, those experiments. Let us go and find my brother." And she's like, we were fast, we don't break. And he's like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Okay, fine, yeah, no problem." We're reminded that they cost a lot of money and that they do in fact could probably malfunction and break. But Boy Cavalier is just like, you know what? I'm the smart one. Just don't lose one. I'll pay for more or something. He doesn't even say that. He just says, "Don't break them. Don't lose them." And then he like points at Timothy Oliphant like a dog, like you watch him, you robot, you watch him, only you. And then there's this weird like back and forth between Wendy and Boy Cavalier, where she's like so confident and ready to go and get this done and get the mission on, get her lost boys. She grabs her little toy. She grabs the blade of a paper cutter, like like the one that you get from school, like to cut like those big pieces of oak tag. So that's her. That's what she's going with, and she's gonna go get her friends. And they're sitting around. They're kind of talking about like how they're kind of a little unsure about. They got a lot of questions about this little experiment that they've been forced and coerced into. They can't die apparently, and then they say that, oh wait, maybe we can die. We could drown. We could get tore up. We could get. They even say that we could get eaten by a crocodile. Hint, hint. Remember the Peter Pan reference? So they talk about how they could just power down. There's absolute ways that they can expire. So this whole thing that they can't break is absolutely untrue. And and so we'll see if they're also as strong and as fast as they're set out to be. I mean, it seems like they're supposed to be stronger than the actual robots, like the synthetics, like Kirsch here, or Morrow for that matter. So they're off. They're off to Prodigy City to go to Maginot to do some search and rescue of their own. She wants to go find her brother. Boy Cavalier wants to send them just to see how they deal with stress, I guess, because they haven't done any of these kind of tests or experiments already or yet or something. Like when we go back to the Lost Boys or like her five other experimental hybrids, they're not doing anything. They're just kind of hanging around a room, just kind of talking about the how they're going to end up dying or malfunction. And they're just kind of having this conversation, and there's no training going on, there's no learning, there's nothing. They're just kind of contemplating the end already. So maybe Boy Cavalier, maybe he's just like kind of made them and just doesn't have any plans. He's just kind of just wants to see what happens over time. And he's taking advantage of this kind of thing happening and seeing what happens. Seems like a big roll of the dice though, you know? I mean, does he have like an endless supply of like these bodies? Does he have an endless supply of these kids on his Boy Cavalier Island? We don't know. I know I'm getting a little tired of the Boy Cavalier walking around with no shoes on, just feet all up in the camera. I hate it. All right, so we got the search and rescue team from Prodigy City. They're snooping around the ship. They find the face huggers. They're seeing that, man, there's people. The crew got messed up. Uh-oh. Some like wormy looking thing crawls on the guy's neck and then crawls into his collar, and he kind of just like brushes it off like like a piece of his own hair just kind of like fell in out of place. Like he just kind of like, what is that? That thing is the size of a hot dog, and it just kind of like plops on his shoulder and then just falls down his collar. Like you would feel the fuck out of that thing, and it would bother you, and you would take all your clothes off until you find out what the hell that thing was. There's no like, oh, what was that? I don't know what that was. You're on a spaceship. It could be anything. Okay, so they get ambushed, search and rescue by Morrow, the robot. Two guys, they go into this room. Both of them get ambushed. They're both looking in the same direction. Nah, we won't talk about that stuff. So they get captured, they get disarmed here. Morrow like handcuffs them to a pole, and then yeah, he wants to collect the species, but I guess he doesn't know that one of the hot dogs fell on the guy's collar, so he's not really interested in that one. It seems like his main focus is the xenomorph. Search and rescue team, two guys, don't even try to disarm Morrow. Don't even try to escape. No training, no balls whatsoever. They're just like, okay, we'll let you handcuff us to this pole. They got headsets on. They're not reaching out to anybody. Nobody else is trying to contact them. They got cameras on their head. Nobody sees what's going on. And yeah, Morrow is like, Mother, how are the face huggers? And she's like, yeah, all good. Okay. So then Morrow leaves those two guys for dead. And he tells the guy, like, I'm not your brother, kind of inferring that, like, he's not one of them, you know, which we already know. We already know he's a cyborg. How much of a cyborg he is, we're not really sure. Is it just the arm, whole body, brain? We're not sure. It'd be interesting to find out. I'm interested in finding out. I'm interested in Morrow. Wendy starting to bother me a little bit. Her plan to go find her brother and the fact that Boy Cavalier is just like, yeah, go ahead. It's kind of annoying because it doesn't make sense. There's no reason why he's gonna let those experimental prototypes off into this like unknown situation for no reason. Like there's not even a good reason to send them out there. Like he doesn't know that there's species on there yet. Like there's no reason. Like none. He could do anything with them, but he's not doing anything. Speaking of them, we still don't know anybody's fucking name. Barely heard Joe. We've heard Joe once. Main character. Kirsch. Don't think we hear his name in this episode. The names of the ships, nothing. We have heard that this is Prodigy City though a couple times. So search and rescue team see all the aftermath of all the carnage of what the aliens did, seeing dead bodies scattered everywhere. They're in the sleep pod bay, so they're seeing all the people that were in the sleep pods all jacked up. All the gore and makeup is really well done. Oh, Joe has a gun. Joe like just looks at stuff and he's just like, yeah, this person's dead. Oh, here he actually does say something good. He looks at the blood and he goes, "Oh, this person's been dead a week. I could tell by the color of the blood." Which means that that thing's been flying through space at least a week, right? I mean, we know the thing's been flying through space for like 3 months, 4 months or whatever the hell. Or at least that's how long it was told to us that that's how long it was going to take for them to get from when the show opens up to the point I guess where the aliens start to or till they get home is supposed to be 4 months. So that trip when they go to sleep is supposed to be 4 months. The trip after it's supposed to hit the like land on the moon, like that should take a little while. Then nothing. We don't get any warnings. Boy Cavalier, boy genius, doesn't hear nothing. We don't get any smoke signals, premonitions from the robots, nothing. But nevertheless, the Maginot crashes. It's got the fucking aliens on board, and Joe is just looking around. They walk right by a face hugger that looks like it probably had already been on somebody's face. So that means there's another person with possible xenomorph in their chest. So these two are poor bastards. So the hot dog fucking worm thing comes out, and the guy finally feels it, and it's crawling on his face, and he's still not bugging out. He's just like, oh, oh man, like he's just like acting like a bee, like kind of like landed on his nose, and like maybe if he stays still, the bee will like fly away. No, this thing's like the size of like a baby's forearm. It's just like hanging around, just like crawling on his face. It's got teeth. It's making ill noises, and then boom, it fucking bites him in the fucking neck. Oh god. And then the thing like blows up and pusses up into like this big ball, just pus and larva, like nastiness. Woof. Pretty nasty. What the hell happens? I don't know. Did that thing die? Did it plant something in him? I don't think we see anything from that. So, and then the other guy has one too. He freaks out a little bit better. He kind of has like kind of a reaction like a normal person would have. So they both get got. What happens to them? I don't think we ever really find out. Not yet, anyway. Like I said, time of recording this, we're up to episode 3 already. All right. So we're on the ship, and Wendy and the Lost Boys and Kirsch, they're off. We're going to do this stupid ass mission where she thinks she's going to find her brother. And yeah, Kirsch is supposed to just watch them and see what happens, see how they react, see how well they do, if they do well at all. Because like I said, for some reason they act like they're said to be like 12 and like 10, like that kind of preteen stage, but they act like they're like 6 years old. Like they act like they're dumb 5-year olds that like haven't been to school yet. Like they're just really, really, really immature. And yes, I know that they're 12-year olds. I don't ever remember 12-year-olds acting like this. But all right. I mean, we have to be reminded every time by her body language that she's like this age. Because the way she sits down, like that's not like something that the actor's just choosing. I don't think. Like I feel like that's like clearly written into the script of like Wendy sits down on the chair with her legs up, to her chest and then spins around and and acts as the man if he has kids and then repeats the word sperm for some reason. Like the conversation that they had, like I don't understand. Boom. So shit starts falling apart finally. Kirsch is like trying to scare Wendy. He's all like, "Hey, you know about the food chain?" Like he has again, they have this conversation. This show just like tries to fill time. They're having this conversation. He's just like kind of trying to like I guess intimidate her or scare her or like assure her that like she's not as strong as she thinks she is or she's there's an order to these things and she's still low on that food chain or at least humans are. I don't know if he's trying to see if she like connects herself as being human or if she connects herself as being more like synthetic. Like I don't know if maybe that's what he's trying to like get a rise out of her and see how she reacts. But she's totally confident that this is gonna work. And he's like, "Yeah, all right." And then we get the music drop because it's the end of the episode, and it's really badly placed. Good song, doesn't fit at all. It's so bad. And yeah, like I said, I don't know why they're having this like him and her are like having this conversation and why they talk to her like again, they don't talk to her like she's like this 12-year-old in this robot body that is able to like learn and figure shit out. Like it's almost like their 12-year-old minds are in this body and it's like up to them to figure it out. Or it's up to like, you know, yeah, it's up to them to figure it out and to either want to like gain all like any kind of like knowledge or strength or power or anything like that on their own. It's not really shown that Boy Cavalier has a plan in place for these things at all. And the fact that he's okay with this plan again makes really no sense. Makes about as much sense as this song being at the end of this show. I know it's a show, and sometimes they use little needle drops at the end, but this makes no sense. It's a sci-fi show, like. But that's episode 1. We're gonna do episode 2. Come back. See you guys later.